Welcome to Fresh Off the Block.
Hi guys, welcome back to another fresh episode of Fresh Off the Block. Sab fresh hai after the final loss in the ISL. I think everyone's moved on from that. I have with me Ullas and Raki. Yeah, they're very excited today.
Yes.
So guys, moved on completely. We have moved on in life.
I haven't.
You haven't.
As in, I mean, after a while you accept the result.
ये बहुत ही गहरा प्यार है. हाँ.
But it still hurts to the point that I see. I always believed that Super Cup is utterly inconsequential. Now I've lost even more interest because I can't wait for the next season to roll in, and I want us to win that league. Only then I'll feel better about this.
Same here. I still have episodes
Episodes.
of Dhanpal Ganesh and Amoy Ghoshal. But
Those are very bad episodes.
yeah, bad episodes.
And by the way, props to all the Chennai fans who, in their hour of glory, were busy listening to our podcast and taking offense. Especially the ones who called up Wasim to complain about our joke on Amoy Ghoshal. Well done.
Oh, did
We
they?
Now, they did. Now we know that you actually don't have a life.
No, but
So I think-
Super Machans is saying it was Beast and Blues. Beast and Blues is saying it's Super Machans. Who called Wasim?
So I think we should officially have a helpline now.
Yeah,
for
I
all
know.
this. You can call us directly at 011. Go fuck yourself.
And you're also free to start your own podcast. You can also call it Fresh of the B Block. So,
Very original.
yeah, very original, I know.
Like a chance.
Anyway, moving on completely from this. Let's talk about football. And speaking of football, we had a game against Gokulam. We like beating teams from Kerala, but Gokulam's a nice team. I don't think we've had any problems. They played a good game against us.
Far better team. We were tested.
Maybe the best team in Kerala by miles. By miles, yeah.
I do agree.
So
Yeah,
guys,
and,
analyze the
and-
performance. I mean,
And we were tested. I mean, props to that genius Udanta. Man, his decision making was kick-ass that day.
Yes.
That last minute pass that he squared to
Miku.
Miku,
Yes.
talent.
Absolutely, and he needed that performance because he had a terrible game when he turned up for India. He needed to step up and show up with a performance that's exceptional, and this really was a great performance.
but how do you guys analyze Udanta's growth from the last year? Chetri said he needs to take more shots. He is sort of like the Salah without goals. But-
Yeah, in my opinion, I think one of the things that hasn't worked for Udanta this season is the arrival of Miku, because that has sort of taken the pressure off him as far as scoring goals is concerned. So while Chetri is right that he should probably take more shots, but he seems to have slipped in effortlessly into the role of someone who creates goals for Chetri and Miku, right?
But he does it well.
And
And
he
he
had,
does a great job of it.
and he had 7 assists and 1 goal,
Correct.
which
Which
is
is
all right.
okay.
Which is good.
It's pretty
Which is
good.
good,
Yeah. And his fitness levels and his ability to bomb forward even at say the 90th minute.
Yeah.
That's a very potent threat. And with
And,
a finisher like Miku, that's deadly.
when you're mentioning fitness, I mean, a shout out to the BFC medical team. If you saw that match in Bhubaneswar against Gokulam,
Oh yes.
Gokulam players were falling like a pack of cards,
Correct.
and we thought they were acting, but no, they were living the.
It was the conditions.
It was the conditions, and in the 72nd minute, there was a boom, right? Udanta just ran past the whole team, and then that decision making, medical team, unsung heroes,
Hats off to you guys.
respect.
But Miko on the score sheet as well. No question about his commitment, right?
No, I mean he's a very hungry player. When he is on the pitch, he wants to score, and he's a predator in that sense. And that really shows. Whatever the issues off the field, I think even those have been sorted out now. Roka has come out and said he's going nowhere. I think he knows exactly where he stands. So I don't think there is any issue there, and you could see it. You could see it because the celebration
Correct.
and his joy in the goal that Udanta scored. So he is a team player. He's a completely,
Which is good for us to see.
Correct.
And maybe a topic for another day, but Miku is my, in my top 5 foreign players to play in India.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe
I mean,
would
actually play a complete season. Not, I mean, we have had bigger players like Del
Of course.
Piero, Berbatov, and everybody, but I'm
Randy
talking
Martins.
about, I'm talking
Hey, come on,
about
he's good.
yeah,
Randy
very
Martins,
good.
Odafa Okoli, they're all
Yeah,
good, but
they're all
Chima Okere.
legends of the I League, if you can call this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about. I mean, those aside, I'm talking about the season's ISL and everywhere. But we've had massive big players, but they didn't contribute much in a season. Whereas Miku scored like 15 goals and assisted and all that. And technique-wise, I'm talking about pure technique. I think he's top 5. I'm sure there were Mendoza and Mendy and all those people, but Miku.
So, before we analyze the next opponents, we had another game against a northeastern team, Aizawl. What did you guys think of that game? We put in a very good performance considering the team we played, and we came out 3-1 winners.
Yeah.
Coming back from a goal down, which is always good to see. So, we were
I
up
think
for
this
the
is how
fight.
we should play. I think we should always go down by a goal early on in the game because that seems to get us so focused.
No, I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Because you know what gives me anxiety attacks is when we score early.
And we sit back sometimes.
And
Or-
then somehow till like 70th, 80th minute nothing happens, and then those last 10 minutes are pure torture. So
But isn't that the beauty of football?
Especially the 85th minute.
exactly, yeah. Oh my god.
I think BFC should just retire 85th minute from the clock.
No, except I don't think the Belarus goal was 87th minute, I believe.
86th.
85 point
Yeah,
whatever.
you should just retire. Like BFC matches should be 85 minutes long. That's it.
That's it.
No, but I thought it was a fantastic comeback. And it was very difficult. Gokulam made it Aizawl made it very hard for us in the first half.
Yeah.
But if you look at the second half, it's almost like a completely different BFC side stepped out. And we dominated. We looked like a team that really is in a different league from Aizawl. Like, I understand
And
that.
Aizawl did pretty well in the I League as well. So
Yes, they did. And I think it's also a question of prioritization because even Santosh Kashyap didn't play his best 11. I think he's made his peace with the fact that AFC Cup is not going to yield anything. So he might as well focus on the Super Cup, which is where, by
Maybe
virtue of
he
being a
will.
knockout, maybe he's got an outside chance of winning it.
I think that's a little harsh, don't you think? At this stage, I think that was the first or the second group game,
Yeah.
and we were considering Aizawl not taking it seriously, especially in the AFC Cup.
Yeah, so why else would you play a virtually second? Even Roka didn't take it as lightly because it's very clear that Roka rates the AFC Cup. But for Santosh Kashyap, it was a very clear. Like, he rested a lot of his key players. It was a second string team effectively.
I think only his swag turned up that day. Touchline
We'll
swag.
come back to that. Raki, what do you think about Roka handling two different teams? He literally puts out two different teams for two different competitions and gets the best out of them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a fan of how he rotates that team and how he, gets each time different goal scorers. Right? And we've managed well during the ISL season as well, where we played a packed
Correct.
AFC season.
Correct.
So I just want to see how other teams
Manage that.
making their debuts in the AFC actually manage that. Props to Roka and the rest of the management team as well.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Aizawl game, we had Segovia scoring his first goal,
Yeah.
Beke scoring a goal, and then my man Dan. So it was both the Daniels scoring and Alvin George
Assisting twice.
I think
Twice.
Aizawl,
Isn't that one player,
The magic.
Ullas, do you really hope that this season literally comes to life for us?
Who?
Always.
Alvin George is one player who I hope literally comes to life every season, but he never does. So I think let's be honest. Let's call him for what he is. He's an underperformer, and I don't see anything that inspires confidence. See, I've seen a lot of divided opinions about other players as well. Lenny is one key example. But when I see him on the pitch, at least there is an effort. At least there is
He
work
runs
rate.
around, yes.
Yeah. But with Alvin George, nothing inspires any kind of confidence in me as a fan.
And we're talking about a player who was
was like the best
player
young
of the
player.
year,
Yeah.
twice.
Precisely. So
Twice.
given the reputation he came in with, he has let us down big time. And I know he got the assist, but leading up to that assist, he was absolutely awful. So,
Okay.
I mean, he has to live up to his reputation, right? When Chetri and Johnson and everybody says that it's impossible
To take the ball off him during
off-
training. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, right? And that is exactly why we have a chant for him, which resonates with another magician. But
But do you guys think that if he stays on this season, he'll be a good replacement for Lenny, considering Lenny has
no chance.
decided to move on?
No chance. See, we have had our issues with Lenny, which are very valid. Lenny is not our not the solution to our midfield situation, right? So I'm not convinced. Alvin
I
George
think they
is
both
the
are
answer.
leaving on the same bus. I think, I mean, going by the rumors, I think Alvin, gets down first at Pune, and then that bus goes to Goa, and Lenny goes home.
So I think what Alvin George needs to realize now is that gone are the days when there could be infinite amounts of patience with a player in Indian football because there wasn't a very good pipeline of talent. But today there are 20-year-old, 19-year-old, like very young players who are promising a lot.
Correct.
And I
The
don't
whole
see,
under 17 team is just waiting to.
correct. And even if you get past that, even if you look at ISL or I League, you have the likes of Susiraj or Anirudh Thapa, Adil Khan. They're all very good players and they're very promising players, and
They're trying to step up.
and they're getting nowhere near the Indian national team.
Plus, we have a much.
Well, that's another story altogether. Why they don't get into the
Of
Indian
course, no.
national
I'm
team.
just saying that Alvin George doesn't figure anywhere in the top.
Plus, we have a
20
bigger
players.
talent waiting in the wings, in the B team, in the reserve team, Vidya.
Noel Augustine.
Yeah, Vidya.
Yeah.
Leon Augustine is great.
Correct. A lot of talent, yeah. So,
Agreed.
so I think.
But would
it's-
you guys maybe say that let's just give him one more season, start him a few games, and see how it goes from there. Maybe this is a season he clicks. And as a fan, you're always hopeful. I mean, for
Yeah.
every player that comes,
I'm
he
all
plays
for second
BFC.
chances, but this is his fourth or fifth chance. Yeah, fourth chance, basically.
And
So-
unfortunately for him, the season that's coming up is a very high stakes season.
Considering
we
what has
exactly.
happened this season. I mean,
Exactly. So we
Recently.
are actually going out to reclaim something that we think
We are entitled
should
to.
have gotten this
Yeah.
season,
Yeah.
right? So this isn't the season for experiments.
Is this going to be the season where we put up the banner that says we will bring back what is rightfully ours?
let's not
should-
jinx it. Let's just take it one game at a time.
So we actually did it and won it. So
Yeah,
I personally don't believe in jinxes and hoodoos, so I'm game for anything. But the point is, there has to be a level of humility about it, and that's
Yeah.
what I always believe. When we lose, we have to be able to take it on the chin.
Correct.
So let's go out there, let's get it back. But frankly speaking, I don't see a role for Alvin George in that little project.
So moving on to our next opponents in Super Cup. That I think prior to that we'll have a game against Aizawl, but
no,
sorry, New Radiant.
Correct.
New Radiant. But let's concentrate on Super Cup. Super Cup, guys, what do you think? Neroka, they did pretty well in the I League. I mean, so did Aizawl, but what do you guys think about?
I think Neroka was tested. It should have been an easy game for them, but then they had to fight their way back and all that
But
drama.
that's the magic of the cup, no, Raki. Like smaller teams tend to give bigger teams a tough fight, and hence Blasters give Neroka a tough fight.
That was where I was getting to. That was a build up.
So that makes perfect sense. But credit to Neroka, like being the superior team, they did eventually come through. That's what you expect.
But wouldn't you have rather had Blasters in a knockout tournament?
I personally don't have that opinion. I've heard a lot of BFC fans saying that we would have loved to have that opportunity to beat them again. But looking at it, see, firstly, as I said, I don't care about the Super Cup. But even if I were to look at it as an experience, I would prefer playing a lot of I-League teams that we would otherwise never get the chance to play.
Correct.
So for that reason alone, I want to play Neroka. I want us to play as many I-League teams as possible. Mohan Bagan, East Bengal would be an absolute icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Blasters, we know that we're going to meet them again in the ISL next season anyway. So
And also, I am sure a bunch of people would never want to meet Blasters again, at least in the Super Cup, and that is a social media team, because they're just tired of all the or replying to all that spam. So I think Naroka, thank you from the social media team.
Yeah.
But let's analyze other teams in the Super Cup. So we have East Bengal waiting in the semi-final. Can this be
if we win against Naroka?
I don't know. I don't know if we are facing East Bengal if we win against Naroka, but East Bengal is the first team to qualify for a semi-final in the history of the Super Cup, which has been this season.
Correct. And
Yeah, somebody give them a trophy for that. They really need a trophy. Like first team to qualify for the Super
they
Cup
already have a
semi-finals.
trophy, which is called Khalid Jamil. Or
That's
is he
not
the
called a
coach?
trophy. That's called a sample.
No, is he the coach or is Baumik the coach? Who is the coach?
That
They have
depends on
two
what
coaches.
day of the week it is.
Okay.
Like
Oh.
there are 3 days a week when Khalid Jamil is the coach.
I don't think.
why is that? This is news to me.
He's the
Why
new
is that?
He's the new technical director, and both he and Khalid don't see eye to eye. So
Well,
they,
Khalid never saw eye to eye with anybody, including, I mean, Khalid always.
so now they're taking turns. One day Monday ko Khalid Jamil hai, Tuesday ko Baumik hai. So
Moving on.
I'm looking forward to the East Bengal potential East Bengal clash as well.
Who do you think is your key player
For BFC.
for East Bengal?
For East Bengal, definitely Alumna.
Alumna.
Yeah.
When are
Amazing
we-
food, amazing rolls.
Best
Yeah.
juice.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Crazy
that,
chicken roll you get there.
when are we going to Alumna?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know where Alumna is, it's in Kamanalli. You should try it out.
You should try the cholesterol rolls.
Yeah, and Khalid Jamil loves that place. Anyway.
No, but jokes apart, I think.
But you have to bring your own bottle.
Oh god, okay. Moving on, guys. There's something new that's happening. Well, not many people are aware of it. Ullas, I want you to talk about the Indian Women's League. Unfortunately, that it's not being telecast on TV, though it deserves to. Some of the goals that we've seen have been absolutely fantastic.
Correct.
And some of the teams have been really playing well.
Sure. Yeah, so it's partly down to AIFF. There is no broadcast. The only way.
Partly, no, it's completely down to AIFF.
No, I mean it's a chicken and egg situation because nobody's watching it either. I mean even an evolved sport like in India, cricket is so big. It's a religion.
Correct.
But even there are broadcast issues with the women's game. So clearly AIFF is not interested in promoting the women's league. But I would urge every football fan to try and follow as much as you can because. There's been some really good football on display, and I was surprised. It's very easy to not watch it and dismiss it, but when you watch it, you realize that for a sport that receives scant attention, for something that has no infrastructure, no year-long calendar, nothing, these women are extremely good footballers. Especially if you see some of the Manipuri teams, the Kripsa and ESU teams. They're fantastic. Like I saw Bala Devi play, and I was amazed at how technically she's adept. But in a long time, I haven't seen one player influence one game so much. Like she was literally bullying the defense. So she's the Indian captain for a reason. So I would say that it's very easy to sit back and not give it the attention it deserves and say that I'll watch it when AIFF or Star Sports decide to broadcast it. That's never going to happen. At times we as fans need to give the sport the respect it deserves, and I'm hopeful that when enough of us actually start watching it.
Yeah.
And I say this because even there's a lack of respect from the club's end as well. I noticed Gokulam said when they bowed out of the Super Cup, they said that our season ends here. But Gokulam women's team was still playing in the.
Correct.
I mean, they're still playing in the IWL. So there's a lack of respect. Most I League, ISL clubs don't even have a women's team. And shame on you, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. Like you
For not
existed for 100 odd years. You should have a women's
A
team.
women's team or some setup at least to
Exactly.
improve the game.
Yeah. Likewise for all the ISL, and I mean nobody's off the hook as far as this is concerned. Like it is the collective responsibility of the football community or the broader organization to ensure that women's football is coming up.
Raki, I'll come to you with this question actually. Do you think as fan clubs or people who handle West Block Blues or B Stand Blues or whoever it is, they have a responsibility to also spread awareness amongst their followers,
Correct.
at least about the women's league?
I think, as for West Block Blues, I think having taken up so much of responsibilities in the past, even in terms of, setting up something like Blue Pilgrims,
To support the Indian team.
correct.
whatever that is,
I think we should actively pursue this. I mean, sorry if West Block as an organization didn't, take much effort in this, but I think this should change. And I mean, at least for Bem Bem Devi, right? I mean, when our captain is a fan of Bem Bem Devi.
Okay, that being said, let's move on to the AFC Cup. Our next game is on the 10th. And we have New Radiant as our opponents. Big game, guys.
Absolutely, but I'd like to interrupt you there, and I have a trivia question for everyone listening to this podcast. Who is the one Indian player to have recently played for New Radiant? Think about it, Google it up.
Yeah. Respond to this. We're not going to answer it now.
We're not going to answer it now, and I'm pretty sure that you will be surprised at the answer. And the interesting thing is, we might have already answered it on the show.
Yeah, so
That's your hint.
let's see if you are listening.
Okay, now rewind.
Anyway, so yeah.
So, yeah, guys, New Radiant.
Another Maldives team.
New Radiant Old Country. I mean, like, I'm sure our players are tired of going to Maldives. I'm sure none of them would pick Maldives as a honeymoon destination if they get married. I mean,
Yeah,
too much of
Mazia
Maldives.
Aya. No, but this time it's at home. So,
Yeah.
how important is it that we show up in numbers, especially after the last home game that we had?
This is getting a little annoying for me, and I'm every time we keep plugging the same message, and somehow it doesn't seem to be getting through. On all social media, we seem to keep getting these questions about, oh my God, what happens next season? We don't have AFC Cup. But what is the point? You never show up for AFC Cup anyway.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
So we have these AFC Cup games where, and I remember someone from the club management once told me that AFC Cup games look like funerals, and I don't blame him for saying that at all, because they actually do. It is our responsibility to make sure that our team feels the love, feels the support, and we should show up in good numbers, because if you haven't been in West Block for an AFC Cup match, you will never realize what you're missing out on. The experience, the atmosphere there is amazing. It's a lot of banter.
It's
Agreed.
family.
And as a wonderful gentleman once said, that there is so much banter going around that time, and there is no public pressure for obvious reasons.
Because there is no public.
Because there is absolutely no public. But for those fans who haven't been a part of the first and second season where the club was growing, AFC Cup is a perfect opportunity to come and see the regulars and see how chants evolve. Most of them usually see the chants about players, but during the AFC Cup it's always different. It's always very factual oriented. It's very different compared to what usually happens in the ISL games.
Plus AFC Cup is what the club stands for. It's the club's grand vision to do well in Asia.
And then move on to the Champions League, because that's the next step. So
Correct.
And how many times can you actually sit next to Gurpreet and then chant that we have Ralte, who needs Gurpreet? How many times can you go an entire match calling Victor Perez Ed Sheeran? These are things
and also imagine Gurpreet standing next to us and chanting for Ralte. I mean, so magic happens on AFC nights. And please come for
and Ralte attacks, huh?
and please come for that anthem. It is much better than the ISL anthem.
Hey, ISL anthem is
Let's football.
Yeah, let's football. That's not even grammatically correct.
Yeah, and there's none of that DJ crap that's so super annoying about the ISL.
Let's talk about some fun, exciting things ahead. Transfers.
It's been anything but exciting so far for
Yeah,
me.
it's been we've always been linked with a move away from a player.
Yes.
Yeah, BFC is not interested in this player. That's always been the headline, rather than BFC is looking to sign so and so.
But there is it's a bit like "सौ सुनार की एक लोहार की." I mean, there's a Hindi saying that basically all the moves away from the club have been widely reported, but there is one that has given us a lot of joy. That's the
incoming transfer of
incoming
with his crosses.
1 Reno,
2 Reno, 3 Reno, Anto, 4 Reno, 5 Reno, 6 Reno, Anto, 7 Reno, 8 Reno, 9 Reno, Anto, hey Reno, Anto.
So how good will it be to see him back in blue again?
I mean, it was so bad to see him in
Yellow?
Yes. He's back where he belongs, and that is his blue home.
His blue home, okay.
No, and my heart also goes out to CKV because Reno and Vineet have been inseparable. To see that Reno will now play in blue while
CK may play for another club.
Yeah, Vineet will play. I mean, from all accounts, it looks like he'll stay at Blasters. I don't know. But it's kind of sad. I wish even he could come back.
Correct.
But this is football. We accept it.
But lots of transfer speculations concerning our players. Alvin George, we already spoke about him.
Yes.
Then there is Daniel, who is
And then
probably looking to move.
let's address the elephant in the room. John Johnson's move to 80k. That's
Subhashish. These are all key players for BFC. Subhashish, Jono.
Correct, yeah. So thank
Daniel.
you to Parth Jindal. Parth actually tweeted and quickly deleted the tweet as well, but he sort of told us what we needed to know. Jono is on his way out. He's going for more money. But as per Parth's tweet, it looks like it's a completely money-driven move. And I'd never blame a footballer for chasing money. They have short careers. In that short career, they have to earn as much as they can.
Correct, because you
not
never know
everyone
what
goes on
life
to become a
holds.
TV
Yeah.
pundit, right? We saw what happened with Curtis Usano. Like he gave up football entirely. But
imagine.
Speaking of Jono, sticking to Jono, I think he's been a great player for the club. That bit we need to respect.
legend. I mean,
Yeah, he
proper
is,
legend.
for sure. It'll hurt to see him to play in white and red. But I think he's one of the players that you need to have a banner for in the stadium permanently.
Sure.
Right.
Along with certain others. But anyway, looks like even Ralte is in the news for.
Another legend.
Sure.
I mean, the one who's always, stood up and performed when called upon.
Correct.
Especially-
AFC Cup final.
Especially this ISL season where when Gurpreet was suspended. And Ralte came up with in two away games, 2 clean sheets.
Yeah.
Massive.
That match against Northeast, he was immense. He was immense. I actually traveled to Guwahati to watch that game, and it was unreal the kind of stops he made for a player who had been on the sidelines for so long.
And also injured.
And injured, supposedly injured. And to come back and then straight away, give a performance like that. And it's really sad to see him go, but I completely understand why he would
Again,
want
the
to.
magic of the medical team. I mean, he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. That was miraculous, not even like magic. But yeah. But anyway, another move for Subhashish looking likely. I think that's one player that we missed him in the final, and
Correct. I mean, but this the Subhashish rumor is not consistent. Like it came out during games
yeah,
which
during
he
ISL,
played well,
yeah,
and then it kind of died down.
But
Maybe his
everybody
agent-
would be hoping for him to stay, right? Because he's
Or-
amazing.
What
in
if
that
what
left
if
back
if it's agent looking for a better
Deal.
deal? I mean,
Yeah,
But, yeah,
excellent.
that-
I completely back that. Like he's earned. If there's one player at the club who's earned a legit pay raise, that has to be
It's Subhashish, yeah.
Given how cheap we got him during the draft.
correct.
and that's all down to Mandar's
Okay.
acumen.
Correct.
Godfather,
And Beke
Godfather
and-
doing Godfather things.
Yeah, Beke and Subhashish both are down to some excellent thinking from the club. And we have to consider the fact that we had someone like Fanay, who was an excellent left back for us. After that, Nishu Kumar,
Correct.
who was
So-
considered to be a hot prospect.
On that point, so if Subhashish has to move, or chooses to move, would you like Fanai back?
Absolutely, I would take him in a heartbeat. He was injured, so I would like to see if he is back to
that
at least peak
level.
fitness.
Huh.
Form is a different thing. I'm pretty sure once he comes back to BFC, he'll find his form. But if he's at peak fitness, I would gladly take him back because
He was
He was a
getting run
beast,
at-
wasn't he?
Yeah, and I think he is the most underrated player at BFC ever.
Absolutely,
I agree.
Agreed.
I agree.
Agreed.
Like Fana is always turned up. I mean,
There
Fana-
was one season where I think the first name on the team sheet would have been Fanai for Ashley.
correct.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Chwante,
Hmm.
if you're hearing this, respect.
And yeah, sign that dotted line if that contract does come your way. So
Yes, but I highly doubt someone like Pradyum would let him go because he knows.
But then,
what he's got.
his
even
value.
even when Chwante was fit, Pradyum didn't play him much. I mean, Pradyum because I'm saying Pradyum because the other guy is always suspended, right?
He spent more time on the sidelines than Fanai
Yeah,
does.
correct.
anyway, from transfers we move on to one of the most prestigious tournaments in India, the Santosh Trophy. And what a performance by Karnataka boys, guys.
Absolutely, we didn't expect them to go as far as they did.
Correct.
So,
We would have been happy with the quarter-final, but semi-final and the performance they put in. Raki, Ullas, are you happy with Kerala winning?
Yes.
I am
very much.
extremely happy with Kerala winning. I was totally rooting for Kerala to win once Karnataka was out of the running. Had it been a Karnataka versus Kerala final, I would have been
tough.
torn. I would have been completely torn because I wouldn't have known who to support.
Correct.
But very happy with the way Karnataka has played, especially because if you had looked at the squad we had, it didn't give us a very good chance. But we managed to beat teams like Mizoram, which is exceptional. We beat
And
Goa.
Goa.
We almost
narrowly
beat
lo-
Punjab.
we narrowly lost to Punjab. So, hats off to the Santosh Trophy squad. And we know how it was put together. Like 2 days before Santosh Trophy started, nobody had any idea who's on the team, who's not on the team.
And also the other thing is, it was very good to see JSW and Ozone coming together to support the team
True.
and letting the players. So yeah, I think Karnataka has only positives to take out of this, and congrats to the winners, Kerala. I mean, it was about time we see another team than Bengal win it. So congrats to the winners.
On that note, guys, considering the good performance put in by the Karnataka boys, it's a wrap from us. And
Was that rap from Alumna?
wow, Raki, you're on a roll.
I have another question.
Was it roll from Alumna?
Anyhow,
But I have another question. Do you think with his performance this season, he will join the list of East Bengal alumna next season?
on those bad jokes, guys, let's just see you next time. We don't know when that is. And hopefully we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Hopefully this podcast is out on Tuesday.
And if you have any complaints, Chennai fans, please
Contact Wasim.
and remember the number that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that is 01001.
011.
Fuck yourself.
011. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, number keeps changing. Anyway, guys, take care. See you, and we'll be back soon.